Hello, welcome back. djvicvapor with you. Serum Beginners Course. And in this lesson, we're going to go over the Global tab. Let me get this guy figured out real quick here for us. There we go. So yeah, in this lesson, we're going to go over the Global tab. This will be our final lesson for the Serum Beginners Course. Hopefully I've been able to show you something new, or at least enlighten you to what's available. So in the Global tab, we've kind of already touched base in the previous lessons on the Chaos 1 and 2 area, just kind of additional noise type oscillators with slightly different algorithms. So we have the Chaos section, a Unison section, Preferences, more of a true global feature, and Oscillator settings. So let's take a look at preferences. So we have options here. Can set the default waveform overview type, to 2D or 3D. You can click this here if you want that. And then as you select and deselect your choices here, you always want to go back and hit the save button. And then the next time you open Serum, those changes will be applied. You can hide the piano keys. So in other words, if you don't want to see this on your screen, you can take that away. And you can kind of read through here. I don't really need to read it all to you. Each of you can choose however you want to set Serum up and what works best for your workflow or your projects. So the oscillator settings are over here. You got oscillator A, oscillator B, and this is oversampling. 1 time, 2 times, and 4 times. I think the default setting at 2 times is probably the best place to be on this, just for CPU usage and things like that. And you've got the pitch tracking, quality, and noise fine. So the noise fine refers to our noise oscillator or noise generator. And what it's going to allow us to do is kind of fine tune. And it's bipolar, so you can go up or down. It's going to allow us to fine tune the noise oscillator. Let me get that back to 0 there, or close to it. There we go. And here you have a tuning file, so you can actually go in and put the specific frequency to whatever note or note value you want, or whatever you want to tune your sound to your project. If you click there, it'll go in here. And if you have some different files with specific frequency amounts, you can bring that into the project. So that covers Chaos, Preferences, Oscillators, and let's take a look at the Unison section. Let me go over here to the front and turn on Unison. Let's give it a, I'll just go with a couple voices for now. And let me see if I can find something. Yeah, that should work. Okay, so right now you've got range, width, warp, wavetable position, stack, and then mode. So let's go over each of these. The range is exactly, how far the range of the unison voices you want to go. So we've got 2. And if we move that up, you can hear the difference on the range. It's an octave at 12. And there we go, we'll go up to quite a ways up. So that's the range of each individual unison voice there. Another way to set it, I like to leave it around 2 personally. And then you've got the width. Oh, and one thing I didn't point out that is important to know is you see this column on the left and this column on the right, they're identical. And the first column is oscillator A, and this is oscillator B. And if you hover over it, it kind of tells you there in a little, see how it's saying unison range for oscillator A, unison range for oscillator B. So I'm just going to work on this one side. Since we're out front, we're just working with oscillator A, but just know that they work identical. They're A and B, and if you want to do them, if you want to move any settings or parameters identical, you can grab in the center here and go up and down there to keep everything in sync. So okay, back to the width. we have 100 for stereo width. Each individual unison voice is getting treated the same there. And you can go down, decrease the width, or increase the width. Of course, if we take it all the way to 0, no matter where we are or what key we strike on the keyboard, it's always going to be mono. So we're always dealing with mono at 0. Warp is going to make a little bit better sense if I turn this up. And we've got to turn the warp on. Let me pick bend plus minus. So the warp is right here. It's our warp button. Now we can set it right here, but within the global tab we can kind of fine tune it. And it's bipolar, so you've got the up and down there. And that's the warp feature. Get this guy back down here. Back down the voices. Wavetable position works almost identical to a warp. Again, on the front you have your wavetable position indicator or dial right here. So if we're in global, we can adjust the wavetable position here. Bipolar again. And then you can, if you want, you can set it right there. And you can hear all the individual, both the unison voices being treated differently within the wavetable. So let me get this guy back to 0. And finally you have stack, which, let me take a look here. It's going to give us a little bit better sound if we move this up. Say right there. Stack is allowing us to go treat each of the individual unison voices with a different octave, basically. So it's allowing one to be 2 octaves above the other, 3 octaves, and so on and so forth. So let's take a listen to how that sounds. Hear how they're some of the voices are staying the same, but others are being treated by being pushed up different octaves. And that's stacking. And then finally, we have the mode, and currently it's set in linear. Which is all the, as I move the dial here, see how all the voices are equally being spread apart or brought together. It's linear, it's all equal. All the unison voices are being treated identical in that detune. But if we change this to, say, exponential, look how that indication is slightly different. See the outermost voice is being exponentially detuned. It's being pushed out further than the rest. And this is better if I actually jump up there a little bit. So let's take a look at it now. See that outer voice is exponential. It's out a little bit further than the rest. It's being treated different. Personally, I kind of like that setting. I like that sound a little bit better. It gives it a little bit more stereo width, or the feel that there's more stereo width. What else do we have? We have random, and then you can invert, and you have super. So let's take a look at random. See how they're jumping around there in a random fashion? Really good indication of how all the voices are being treated in a very random the center voice pretty much stays right on point. All the other ones are kind of jumping wherever they want to go there. And we have super. So you get the idea. I can goof around here and get lost in the fact that we are in a lesson. So that is the unison section. Again, this is oscillator A, this is oscillator B. You can dial both of them in the center if you want to do things equally. And hopefully throughout the course you've been able to learn something. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for pushing play, and talk to you later.